and good morning. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Destiny O'Kane, and I work here at the City of El Paso Municipal Court. And today I'll be presenting about traffic safety, which it was created by me using TxDOT, which is Texas Department of Transportation, their statistics. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first PowerPoint for the first slide. You have 6 bullet points. This is what we're going to cover today. Is texting and driving, drinking and driving, speed limit, distracted driving, red light violations, and buckling up. So there are a few videos in this presentation, and we have provided the links. So if you want, when this presentation is over, you could go ahead and click the links to watch the videos so it could help you complete the assignment that is due after watching this presentation. So why is this important? Why are all those bullet points I just talked about important? So new driver peripheral vision. So when you're young and you're a new driver, usually you want to drive everywhere. And you're always asking your parents, can I have the keys? Can I have the keys? And usually gauge when you're an experienced driver is when you don't want to drive anymore. For example, a new driver, they're like a horse with horse blinders. So horse blinders, you're not able to see the sides. They're only looking at what's in front of them, and they haven't developed their 360 vision all the way around because they are a new driver. So which kills more? And the main reason why I put that car is because that's one of my favorite cars, but ask yourself, which kills more? And for an example, I'm going to talk about the gun on the right. If you want to determine how fast and how hard you'll be hit, is you ask someone, maybe a male, whoever's near you, to be 1 arm's length away from you, have a bat in their hands, and swing it as hard as they could across your chest. So that would probably hurt a lot and leave a lot of damage. Now imagine a car weighing thousands of pounds and thousands of amount of pressure. Now, what will that look like when a car hits you rather than when a gun hits you? So also for another visual for you to think about is, remember, we're practically walking and talking watermelons. We are hard on the outside and soft on the inside, so we're mostly made of water. The same thing, if you were to grab a watermelon and drop it on the ground, that's what your body will do. And certain autopsies will show that your body on the inside will be complete mush and everything on the outside will look perfectly fine. So is driving a right or a privilege? And it is a privilege. Remember, reasons for losing driving privileges may include failure to appear in court, failure to pay, motor vehicle surcharges, driving while suspended license, failure to provide proof of insurance, physical, mental disqualification, drug or alcohol use, traffic law violations, at fault in a fatal accident, and failure to respond to NBC notice. So remember, for all the kids or even adults that are driving, your car is a weapon. I mean, everyone, we know someone who has a vehicle. Mostly every household has one vehicle. So remember, when you're wanting to go for a joyride, or your kid or child takes the car and they maybe even kill somebody, they can be charged with manslaughter in an unauthorized vehicle. So these are things to think about, and know that it's not okay just to take the car for a joyride. What is distracted driving? So you have 3 types of distraction, which are visual, which is taking your eyes off the road, manual, which is taking your hands off the wheel, and cognitive, taking your mind off of what you're doing. All of these things can lead to a fatal car accident. So one example here, so around 8 p.m., a bus was carrying 17 people that were in a bus rollover car accident. And I am there on the second person from the left. And the bus, and yeah, so that's me right here. The driver was falling asleep behind the wheel, which led to the bus rolling over with 17 girls in the vehicle. The first girl on the left is not able to play volleyball due to her injuries. So remember that not all people walk away from their crashes. And what motor vehicle skill or what did take place during this is cognitive motor skill, which is due to the speed and falling asleep behind the wheel. Cell phone use. So, when is it okay to use your phone while driving? It is never okay to use your phone while driving. Cell phone use in the state of Texas is prohibited. You are prohibiting use of wireless communication, which means making a call, answering a call, creating or reading a text message. So if you think about it, looking down at your phone, some people will say they can multitask. No, you cannot. The same part of your brain you use to drive is the same part of your brain you use to text. So 75% of teens admit to texting and driving. So you're 23 times more likely to cause an accident. So reading a text and taking your eyes off the road averages about 4.6 seconds. So only going at 55 miles per hour, which is not as fast as you drive on a highway, that would be the length of a football field, blindfolded. So just in a matter of 4.5 seconds, you have already crossed a whole football field, and that's how long you haven't been looking on the road. So here's another story and an example. This is in Greensboro, North Carolina. A 32-year-old woman, Courtney Ann, was driving on Interstate Highway Point. Police said she was replying to a text at a time of the crash. Her last text was less than a minute before the crash. Crime scene investigators found within that minute she was looking down at her phone before the accident. So remember, this happens in seconds, not minutes, seconds. And it could be those few seconds that will change your life completely. Another example here is a 17-year-old Noah Alexander. He had killed an Oklahoma woman, 54 years old, while she was driving her 2 grandchildren. Noah was only 3 days away from turning 18 from the day the crash happened. When taken to court, he was trialed as an adult. They were pronounced dead at the scene, all 3 of them. So this car on the left is an actual car that was on the scene they now use for a texting campaign called Put It Down, to show teens and adults that texting and driving, what it can result to. Next is drinking and driving. On average, every 31 minutes, someone will be injured or killed in the state of Texas as a result of alcohol-impaired driver. So according to Texas law, to be intoxicated while driving, it's having a BCA of 0.08 or higher. Remember, you can still be charged even if you're not at the legal BAC. So after your first drink, you are at risk at being charged. During 2019 spring break in Texas, there were 444 crashes involving young drivers who were driving under the influence of alcohol. Those crashes killed 11 people and seriously injured 37. In the El Paso district, there were 24 alcohol-related crashes during 2018 during spring break, resulting in 1 fatality and 4 serious injuries. So what are some things that you can do to avoid any of this from happening? You can contact a cab, ride a share services, or spending the night at wherever you're at, or having a designated driver. Remember, it could cost up to $17,000 and the loss of your driver's license. So here is a video. There's also going to be a link. This is called an event that we have here in El Paso. It's called Shattered Dreams. This is something that's funded by TxDOT, which is Texas Department of Transportation. They have high schoolers participate in a skit, basically, of a drunk driver, and these kids, these 12 kids, they select them from their high school to reenact all these experiences to show the kids what drinking and driving can do. And here is another link below that you can watch a video of, but a quick rundown is this is a 22-year-old Shane Carter. He was a college junior. He was out drinking with his friends. He knew he was in not a great condition to drive home, but neither was the person who gave him a ride. His friend walked away from the crash fine, and Sean is now in a wheelchair, unable to speak. So you'll later see in the video, you can start it at 1 minute and 30 seconds. He is now not able to do anything anymore. He was perfectly fine on the outside, but his brain had hit so hard inside his skull that it had left him paralyzed and unable to speak. Speed limits. So in Texas, we have one of the fastest highway systems in the United States. There are some speed limits that you'll see around El Paso, which are construction zones, school zones, and parks. Consequences of speeding may get a speeding ticket, accident, or even death. Here's another video that I attached that the content is graphic. So again, if it disturbs you or you're sensitive to things like this, you can go ahead and just move on to the next thing. And again, another video that I attached is red light violations. You can see in El Paso just some people who are running red lights who either crash or almost cause a very, very bad accident. So buckling up, how do you wear your seatbelt? So most people, when you go in the car, you just, put your seatbelt on, how it's not very difficult, but there is a certain way to wear your seatbelt. So when putting on your seatbelt, you want the belt to go over the shoulder and the bottom part should go over your laps and not your stomach. So most people, that bottom part of that lap, they let it right up to their stomach. So remember, if you were to be in a crash and that belt at the bottom is not on your laps, it can disembowel you, which means it can cut you in half in your stomach and your intestines can come out of your stomach. So make sure when you put your seatbelt on, you adjust it low and try to let it ride on your hips. So buckling up, there's 982 unbuckled people died last year on Texas roads. Law enforcement efforts of May 20th and June 19th. Crash occurs more at night and during the early morning. Wearing your seatbelt reduces the risk of you dying in a crash by 45 to 60% in a pickup truck. So talking about different restraints, here are just some different car seats. All are going according to age as you get older. Not wearing a seatbelt can cost up to $150, and not having a proper restraint for your child can also lead in a fine or a ticket. And if you want to have any more information, you can contact TxDOT, which is Texas Department of Transportation, to have more information, or if you have any questions, or if you're interested in setting an appointment to have your car seat checked. And here's just another story about buckling up. It's called Click It or Ticket, and it's known all over the state of Texas. These are the parents of Kaylee, the two parents on the left. She was with a group of friends in the car. According to her friends, they stopped at a red light and she had taken her seatbelt off for just a second to take a selfie. It was only for a few seconds and they were struck by another vehicle and Kylie lost her life. Now her parents go around the state of Texas telling her story and explaining why it is important to buckle up. So if you can see on the picture here on the right, that is here in El Paso, Texas. And they did come here to explain Kaylee's story and to explain why it's important to always wear your seatbelt from the moment you are in the vehicle till the moment you step out. That seatbelt should never come off. So what can I do in all of these main points discussed? So make sure you reflect and think about all of the things that you've learned throughout these slides and how you can change that in your daily lifestyle when driving in the car. And so remember, you be safe and drive smart. Remember, we don't want to discourage you from driving. We just want you to be safe on the roads. And for more information, here's just some links if you want to still look at the statistics or contact TxDOT for any other information. You can do that at any of these links. And I hope you learned more about traffic safety. Thank you for joining me today. We'd like to thank TxDOT again for providing us with these statistics. If you're interested in obtaining a copy of this PowerPoint or traffic safety material, please reach out to us by calling us at 915-212-0215. And again, thank you for watching and have a great day.